We are at the campground at Arkansas's Crater of Diamond State Park, and more specifically we're here at where the trail starts to the Little Missouri River. This is a map that shows you where we're going, and I'll point out along the way. Okay, we're starting right here in the campground, and we're going to go here, and we're going to follow the paved, handicapped accessible road all the way down and back. Well, we'll go down and I'll stop, but then you just come back. Or you can go this way around, and there's a bridge. It's pretty cool. This is more for hiking. So this trail's for tenderfeet and people who want to get out and really explore in the wild of the woods. So let's get started here. As I say, we're in the campground. You could either, if you're handicapped, you could take the ramp down, or if your kids just want to run that way, or there are steps to start off the trail. It's a beautiful spring day here at the end of March. Out in the woods, the sun coming through the trees. And there's points of interest along the way you can stop and look at, and we'll kind of take assessment of what's along the path here. But it's a nice wide sidewalk that they keep cleaned off. This just shows you about some of the animal tracks you could watch for in the area. We do have deer and possum and coons. I don't know so much about many bobcats and armadillos and squirrels. Usually, if we weren't in the middle of this pandemic, you could get on here and exercise along the way. And honestly, I've never seen anybody do it, but it's there if you wanted to. Most people just come here for a pleasant walk in the woods. My wife and I have walked this literally hundreds of times together. We really enjoy it. For one thing, it's not just a straight path. It meanders through here in between the trees. And some of these are very mature old trees. This is a pine, and I've got long arms, and I could not put my arms around this pine tree. And there's no telling how tall it is, but it goes way up there. And it's not the only one. I mean, there's other pine trees in here that are very, very tall. And it's a state park, and they don't cut trees in here, so they're gonna stay growing till they die. This tells you where you're at on the map. We haven't gone very far. It's only 1.2 miles down and back. This shows you the pine trees are loblolly, and there are some southern red oak and small sweet gum trees as well. There's also holly trees out here, I've noticed, and this is a holly. So it's not looking too great because we've gone through winter and it's springtime now, but it'll look better soon. You can hear the wind blowing through the trees. It's real pleasant and peaceful out here. I expect we'll meet somebody along the path coming back from the river, because there was another vehicle parked there. Otherwise, you've pretty much got the place to yourself. This is where the paved, improved trail branches off, and this, you can take this through the woods, or what you can do is go all the way to the river on the path and come back that way if you just want a little different scenery. And if you get tired along the way, you can sit down, or if you just want to take it easy and enjoy the beautiful spring weather, you've got a spot you can sit. This seems like a pretty flat walkway, but we are descending just slightly towards the Little Missouri River. Now, I know it's called Little Missouri River, and we're in the middle of Arkansas, a long way from Missouri, and no part of this river flows through Missouri. So I have no idea why it's called that. But the headwaters of Little Missouri River is up in the Ouachita Mountains, just north of here, at Little Missouri Falls, up in the National Forest. And then it comes down, and at a place called the Narrows, 60 years ago, they built a dam they now call Narrows Dam, and that created Lake Greeson. And you can swim there, water ski. There's a marina, you can rent a boat, you can fish. So it's a nice recreational lake, and there's also camping available. We got some more signs and another bench coming up here. So this teaches you about leaves and how to identify trees and the pine cones. Just talks about the forest and where you're at, I guess, encouraging you to keep going, that you will make it and you're not far. But just a little education about the plants, flora and fauna along the path here in the woods. So kind of an educational experience as well. Now, I spoke about Narrows Dam and Lake Greeson. That's actually a hydroelectric dam, and they generate electricity by releasing water out of the dam that turns turbines that makes electrical power. Here's another place you can exercise, but because of the virus, this is closed right now. I've never seen it closed before, but I guess they don't want the virus to get on something and somebody else come along and get it. So they're just being extra cautious. You can see the puddles as we walk by here. It has rained off and on for 14 days. It rained early this morning, 1:30 I heard it raining, and some thunder with it. But so here's another bench, and you can hear the birds singing. It's just really pleasant out here. My wife and I have seen deer out here, but you don't see them all the time. And right now it's like 1:40 in the afternoon, and deer tend to be out. You have a better chance of seeing them at dawn and dusk. But you never know. And they might be standing there looking at you and just being quiet, you know, so you don't realize. When I first came to the Crater of Diamonds in the summer of '78, the campground, they were just building it at the state park. It was a fairly new state park, and they were making improvements. There was no campground there, so I camped out at Lake Greeson, and the camping there is really nice. And after working at the crater all day looking for diamonds, I could go swimming up there in the lake. So it was a pretty nice summer. Camped in a tent for 7 weeks. I didn't find any diamonds the first 3 weeks, even though I worked 6 days a week, 10 hours a day. No diamonds for 3 weeks. Well then, finally, I found a 21-point yellow, perfect, beautiful little diamond. And the next day, found a 78-point yellow that is flawless, and my wife has it in a ring set as a solitaire that she enjoys wearing. If you look through there, you can see the Little Missouri River, so we're getting close. Looks like people have taken a shortcut through there to get to the water, but we're going to stay on the path because we'll be there pretty quick. But my indication is The river's flowing pretty good right now because of all the rains we've had. The ground is saturated, so when we got more rain last night, it didn't soak into the ground, it just ran off. Yeah, usually this river is not that full and flowing, but it is a pretty nice river. And it's a good walk down here to it. Nothing at all wrong with walking down here. Now we're turning and going parallel with the river, and I see there's other people up here, but there's benches to sit and just enjoy looking at the water. There's also places where you can walk down and get closer to the river, and I think we will. We'll just get off the path. Yes, the Little Missouri River is flowing pretty good right now. It's up a lot higher than usual. If you look across the way, this is called the Terrell River access to the Little Missouri River. And if you wanted to get there, you can, when you leave the Crater of Diamond State Park, instead of turning left to go to Murfreesboro, turn right and go away from town on Highway 301. And your first turn to the right is Japanese Road, Roy Road, and you'll see the sign say Little Missouri Access, Terrell Access, Little Missouri River. So that's it right there, and you can launch a boat there. No camping overnight, but it is for day use and picnicking if you'd like. The boys just went by on their bicycles, so we can go back up to the trail now. We'll hike along and see a little more, but they must be camping here and enjoying riding their bikes on this path. Oh, and maybe their parents were up here. There's some more signs up here we can read as well. But this part of the paved sidewalk takes you parallel to the Little Missouri River. These signs are telling you to watch for waterfowl. It looks like they have male and female wood ducks, river otters, and it shows you the map where you are now. You made it here. We started out there. We went a little over half mile, 6/10 of a mile to get here, and then we'll turn around and go back. So 1.2 miles round trip. Hello?
August, this was flooded in
There's a
here.
frog in there.
You see the
Yeah.
stuff in the trees?
Yeah, I was
That's
here.
how high it was.
Yeah. Yeah, it was flooded.
Look what's in here. There's a little froggy in there.
Oh.
It's sitting over there on the side.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Toad.
Toad.
Try to stay dry.
So we're almost to the end of the trail and the end of the video. But the man was right. We had record flooding last summer, and this was all underwater where we're at. And it floated those trees up. And I tried to come down here, but you just couldn't. It was really, really a huge flood. In fact, there is a log home right across the river here, and it was built up 6 foot from the pasture level, and then dirt brought up against the foundation. Anyway, it's 6 foot up off of the ground, and they took a water rescue boat, an airboat, and rescued a woman off the front porch of that log home. And if you'll look on one of my videos, one of the early videos from last summer, you'll see them rescuing people off of the front porch of the log home that's right through here. So that airboat was on the other side of that house, taking them off the front porch, and you can see how much lower the water usually is. So it had really gotten up high. So all of this little riverside shack they've got was underwater, completely underwater at that time. Well, you made it to the end, and you can sit on the bench before going back, or stop and read a little more information about the flora and fauna at this Crater of Diamonds State Park on the Little Missouri Trail. Or you've got a choice at the end of the sidewalk. See, now that we've made it all the way down here, you can step off the end of it if you want to go back the more adventuresome way and walk through the woods. There's a trail easily marked, and follow the yellow marks on these trees to stay on the path. But I think you can see pretty easily where to go. But we're not going to go back that way, but just to let you know, it is here. If that's the kind of hiking that interests you, you can get out in the woods and enjoy nature. So thank you for joining me on this new edition of Genuine Diamonds in Arkansas YouTube video. Please subscribe to our channel, and then we can continue bringing more videos to you about diamonds in Arkansas and Southwest Arkansas's Crater of Diamonds State Park.